Today we're doing the field test with the TTI TCB H100 handheld, which we did on Walkie Talkie Wednesday this week. I haven't forgotten we still need to do the Midland 42, but it's either not been the right weather or Mr. C's not been around available. So,
I've just come past Lancaster Services on my way to the crossroads.
Okay, so you're on your mobile in the car, and you'll give me a call at the top of the hill over.
That's Roger.
Okay, so there he is on the way, and he'll be doing the first test point, which is about 1.5 miles away, 1.25 miles away at the top of the hill overlooking Wilsford. And so, as ever with these, he'll be taking the body cam, so we'll upload this video from this end using the Roto 230, which is carefully calibrated so it's spot on, and then we'll upload the next video with Mr. C's footage from the body cam, and then you can choose which of those you want to watch, if any.
And 21 Mr. Chippie at the top of the hill.
Tango 21 Mr. Chippie, I'm reading you okay. That's fine, thank you.
And 21 from Mr. Chippie, did you get any of that?
Yes, reading you loud and clear, Mr. Chippie, over.
Alright, I didn't seem to get you at first.
Oh dear, that's not a good sign. Right, make your way down to the next one, which will be Scratchy Corner.
Roger that. Is it manual squelch on this one?
Yes, Roger, but the extreme left puts it into auto squelch.
Alright, got you. Might be better now.
10-4.
I'll see you the next one.
Okay, so there's a bit of surface noise on that, and I say it's about 1.25 miles away at that. But that's a very short aerial, and that does worry me to some extent that it isn't going to work that well. Any of you have been following the Heathkit radio job which I've been doing, the ham radio one, working on that power supply today, and I took that capacitor out, and it's going to be replaced with that capacitor. So that's the difference between 1966 and now. But I have managed to get them the same diameter, so we can at least fit them somewhere near. Tango 21 Mr. Chippie, I think that sounded like you, over. Tango 21 Mr. Chippie, do you receive, over? Roger, I'm just receiving you. I know it's you, I can hear the bleep, but that's all I'm getting, over. Just about hear you there. Move on to the next test point, please. Well, I'm glad you got the Roger bleep on that. Oh, we wouldn't have heard him come through. That was Scratchy Corner. And of course he was unreadable. I knew it was him, and I'm sure that if there was an emergency and he'd repeated his message about 20 times, I would have got the gist of what he was saying. So that was Scratchy Corner. So he's about 2.5 miles away, but he's right at the bottom, and that's why we call it Scratchy Corner, because it's very difficult for radio. Even your car radio stops working when you go around Scratchy Corner. So I think he'll come back up at the next one, which is Wilsford Level Crossing. Tango 21 Mr. Chippie, you are still unreadable at that position. You are unreadable at that position. But I did hear the bleep, and I know it's your voiceover. Yes, that I can hear what you're saying at that one, over. Okay, Roger. When you get out of the car for the next one, can you call me on the car, please, so I can turn the squelch down specially, just to see if I can get anything. Over. Okay, so we were able to have a two-way conversation. He just moved himself slightly, and so that's the 3 mile point, and that's as far as we managed with that. The capo one on its short aerial.
Mr. Chippie on the mobile rig in the car.
Okay, Roger, I'll listen out for you. Tango 21 to Mr. Chippie. I know you're at the Kelby turn. If you can just try and give me a call over. Tango 21, nothing received.
Nothing received, over.
Yep, that was nothing received. Do the same at the next one, please.
Roger, will do. And 21 from Mississippi. Are you receiving at the Israeli turn?
Roger, are you in the car, over?
Roger that.
Okay, I'll listen out for you. Tango 21 calling Mr. Chippie. Mr. Chippie, do you receive, over? Tango 21 to Mr. Chippie. Nothing received. That's correct, so if you'd like to move on to the last one, please.
Roger that. Tango 21 Mississippi, now at the roster level crossing, if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Roger, I'll start the crossing now.
Tango 21 calling Mr. Chippie. Mr. Chippie, do you receive, over? Tango 21, Mr. Chippie, I just think I heard the bleep. Just go once again, please, over. Tango 21, nothing received.
Tango 21 from Chippie, yeah, I think you just heard the bleep in one particular spot, but obviously it's not good enough to hold a conversation.
Absolutely, it's a nice demonstration about how Morse would get through when speech doesn't. Right, are you going shopping?
That's a Roger.
Okay, catch you back at Tango Towers later. Thank you, 10-10. Okay, so that's it. So, yeah, top of the hill, 1.5 away, 1.25, that was fine. Just could hear him, and I'm sure we could have had a conversation if there'd been an emergency at Scratchy Corner. Then he went out onto Wilsford Level Crossing, or by the level crossing, and yeah, that was fine. And then from then on, the other two caused absolutely nothing. And then that final one, just heard that bit of a beep at the end. So, yeah, 3 miles. Now remember, this is the rough terrain test. This is the worst possible scenario test. So between me and the top of the hill, 1.5 away, there's woods straight from it. This is a single-storey building with the base aerial mounted at gutter level. So it's not that tall, and it's done on purpose. And so he's got woods, he's got a village which is all built of stone in between, and then he's got the hill and there's trees. So that's the top of the hill one. Then he goes down the hill, and it's a steep hill, and the beginning of the village of Wilsford's at the bottom, where we call it Scratchy Corner. So he's done that, and he just came through, which is quite incredible, really. Then he comes out towards the level crossing, 3/4 mile later, and of course it's no longer quite in the shadow of the hill, but nevertheless he's got high rocks at one side. So it isn't good terrain, and that's why we choose this route. Later on in the year, we're going to be doing some tests which are a good terrain for radio tests, where there's very little in between the test vehicle and the person on the hand portable. So we're going to be setting up a 14-mile test route. We've done that before when I lived in Yorkshire. We're going to do that here. So anyway, there you go. So that was the TTI TCB H100, and we achieved 3 miles on our rough terrain for radio test, which is exactly what we got with the capo. But the capo is that little bit more readable. But this radio is possibly smaller, and with a smaller aerial, and easier to work. So you've got to weigh one against the other. So we'll be going back onto that Midland 42. I know we've missed it out, but I just wanted to get this new model tested first. So thank you for watching.